back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be doing a get ready with me and a kind of informational, I don't know. From my last video I mentioned that I have done psychedelics before, and a lot of people slid into my DMs and was like, what psychedelics? What have you tried? Oh my god, can you tell me about this? Whatever. And I was just like, I'm gonna make a video. So I'm kind of happy that I'm making this video because, like, I don't know, I feel like I got into psychedelics because I was around people who were into it. Just go to YouTube and like search like what a psychedelic would do to your mind, how could it affect you, and yeah, I hope this video is helpful. Okay, I start my makeup off. I always put like Cetaphil lotion on my face because I have oily skin, but sometimes my face be dry, you know? And oh my god, like, this cream is so moisturizing. Today, I'm actually going to just cover shrooms. I've tried acid or LSD, whatever you want to call it, and shrooms. And out of the two, I would say that shrooms I like better than LSD. Okay, so number one, you're going to have to set aside 2 days for it. Not 1 day, 2 days. 1 day is going to be for the actual experience and trip, and the second day is going to be for recovery. Now, when I say recovery, I don't mean like you're gonna be brain dead or something, but it is a lot, like, after a trip to kind of assimilate your trip thoughts into a grounded reality. And especially on shrooms, you think a lot, like, just the thoughts are non-stop. And I actually meditated while I was tripping on shrooms, and like, if you can meditate while you're tripping on shrooms, like, that is an accomplishment in itself. And I was able to meditate for all of 5 minutes before, like, my mind just started wandering about like the meaning of life and all these crazy thoughts. But yeah, you're gonna want to set aside 2 days. The trip is going to last about 8 to 12 hours. It depends on how much you take and how much your body reacts to whatever you're tripping to. I take half of what the regular dose is. I don't even know like how many milligrams that is. I just know what it looks like. It's literally like if I put 2 of my fingers together, it's like half, like that first part of like my I don't know how, I just know how to look at it and describe it. I don't know like the specific grams. Your trip is going to last anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, so you have to plan ahead of time like what you're going to do during that time. A lot of people react differently. Some people just like want to sleep and like melt and like stay at home. Oh shit. Anyways, you're going to want to plan something ahead of time to do during your trip so that, you know, you're not like bored. You won't be bored, like, even if you do nothing, because you'll be tripping to anything you look at, anything you think about. You will find things to do if you don't plan anything, but it's more fun to plan something. I suggest watching Netflix original. It's called Our Planet. Amazing. I was tripping to it, and it's so beautiful, and it kind of puts you back into like reality. It definitely made me like, after my trip, it made me more conscious of the world. Not that I wasn't, but I don't know, I just felt more connected. You can go for a walk in nature if it's nice out for you. You can draw, you can listen to music. If you have somebody to cuddle with, I suggest cuddling. Whatever you choose, maybe you want to write, I don't know. Whatever you choose to do, it'll be an experience in itself because, you know, you'll be looking at things differently. So in my everyday makeup, I actually don't put any concealer on. I just put on foundation to kind of like, I feel like my skin is uneven mostly, so foundation kind of just solves all that. And then I add a little bit of contour right here and right here, and then around my face. The way that you're going to want to consume it, ideally, because they don't taste good, is you're going to want to blend it in like a smoothie or something. So the last time I did it, I got like that mango naked juice, and I just took however much I wanted. I put it in a blender with the juice and just blended it in, and I didn't even taste it. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to hit, so whenever you do consume it, like, plan to be relaxing. It's going to take about 4 hours for you to hit your peak, so, you know, for you to like trip completely. And then after about the 4-hour mark, you'll start to come down, and that means that the drug is still in your system, but it's not like being, it's not, I don't know how to explain, I'm not a scientist. All I know is that after you reach your peak, you're coming down, and you get like softer effects of it. It's not like as intense. The reason why I prefer shrooms over LSD is because on LSD, I literally cannot speak. Like, for the life of me, all the way going up to my peak, my thoughts make no sense. Sometimes I'll think something and I think it's like the smartest thing in the world, and then pure like mumble comes out of me, or like I can't even do anything. I was like tripping once, and I went into a Dunkin' Donuts and I tried to order like a tea, and I could not for the life of me ask for a green tea. Like, are you kidding me? Also, on shrooms, for some reason, I just wanted to dance and do yoga. Like, that's all I wanted to do. When I was tripping on acid, I just wanted to walk. I didn't really want to like dance or like, I don't know, do anything else. I just wanted to like walk like forever, basically. And I have the Laura Mercier like setting powder, and I don't put a lot. I just put enough, and I always like set like right under my eye just to keep that intact. On my nose, because my nose gets oily, and up here. And I don't put a lot. I just put like very, very little. And above my upper lip, because my upper lip sweats too. I like shrooms better because I'll have coherent thoughts and I can express myself accurately. I don't feel like I'm not me in a way on the drug. Like, I don't feel like I'm removed from reality. I feel like I'm like so immersed into reality. With acid or LSD, you kind of feel like a little bit like outside of like society in a way. And well, at least I do, and I'm like kind of like the observer of everything. With shrooms, I still have that, but I feel more grounded. You still get like those visual effects. So, you know, lights are like 10 times more brighter. Everything's like moving like this. Everything to me, it's like breathing like that. Like, everything looks like that, like it's breathing. Also, shrooms are more natural than LSD. I mean, LSD is like natural, but it's more of like a chemical that affects you. And shrooms are just mushrooms, but they just have this like psychedelic effect on you. So in a way, it just feels more natural. I don't know. Also, the come down I feel like on shrooms, it's so much more clean than LSD. Like LSD makes everything like colorful, bright, vibrant, and then everything is almost like, when you like come back to being sober, it's almost like everything's black and white in a weird, depressing way. And like, I'm not saying that either of them are addictive, but I can definitely see if somebody's like a depressed person, how they would only want to experience life on LSD because everything's like so pretty and so like happy. And I don't know, the come down after shrooms, you don't feel like that. It's like a slow transition back into your like regular life. It's much more smooth. Instead of feeling like this sense of loss or like depression after the trip, I feel an appreciation for my surroundings. I feel more connected. I feel like I was given like this, I don't know, beautiful tool to connect with the environment around me. And even though, you know, I'm not tripping or whatever, I can still access those feelings that I had during my trip and maybe look at the same tree that I was tripping to, whatever, a day ago, and be like, even though I'm not seeing it breathe and be like a living being in front of me, I know what I saw in that moment. And so it changes the way I view the reality that I'm living in. I would not take these drugs lightly or for like fun. I definitely think that you should, if you plan on doing psychedelics, you should have an intention going in so that, you know, your trip has a path instead of, you know, all these different ways to go wrong. Because the reality is your trip just reflects your state of mind, and if you're a negative person, if you're usually anxious or paranoid, it's just going to heighten those feelings. And that's how bad trips really happen. I've never like personally experienced a bad trip. I know people who have, and it's not fun, you know, you're a prisoner in your own mind at that point. And I would not suggest anybody do psychedelics unless, one, they have somebody who's experienced like with them and watching them and taking care of them, and two, they have to be in the right like mindset. I did my brows with the Anastasia, you know, brow pomade, whatever it's called, and then my lashes, I have this Tarte mascara, and I doubled down with this Clinique mascara. So first I go in with this because it has like, I don't know, like a really good grip, and then I like the wand on this one. It kind of like fans out my eyelashes, and I have naturally long eyelashes anyway, so I don't really need much. I do like putting on eyeliner like a lot, but for like an everyday look, I usually don't. Look at the difference between my eyelashes. It's just so like subtle, but because of this, like you could see the outline of my eye, here you can't, and like you could see wisps of my eyelashes where here you could barely see it, but like even if I turn to the side, you can see it. As far as the second day goes for recovery, I think everybody's different. Some people, like, they just melt their whole trip, and other people, they want to move, they want to dance, they want to do stuff. You have to figure that out by yourself. And the second day, I think, is a good way to kind of reflect on your trip, maybe write about whatever you're feeling, whatever you learned, whatever you took away from your trip, and kind of ground yourself back in reality. Because it's weird, because there's no real way you're ever going to get the chance to apply that kind of state of mind into your everyday life. And the second day, I think, is helpful for you to kind of formulate how you can take whatever lessons, whatever you learned, whatever went on in your mind, how you can take that to move forward in your regular everyday life. And I'm not like using this video to kind of convince you that shrooms is better. It's just my personal preference, and I know plenty of people who prefer LSD over shrooms. This was kind of more an informational to let you know that you're not gonna have a mental break, number one, if you do psychedelics. Two, I think that they're therapeutic for your mind. It's like you get to clean out all the BS that's built up in your mind from programming that we get from advertisements, you know, everyday life, social media, and you kind of like, it's like a reset button. But with that being said, I think that you still need to approach psychedelics with caution. You're not having like a cup of alcohol or, you know, smoking weed, like that's something normal. It's a long period of time, and it's just you and yourself, that's it. I also suggest that if you do decide to do it with somebody else. It's no fun tripping by yourself, and the other person can be tripping or they could be sober. But shrooms and acid LSD are social drugs, so you might have a mental break if you're by yourself and just like tripping. If you decide to do it, make sure somebody's with you. If you can't have somebody with you and it's like your first time doing it, don't do it. Not even just your first time, like anytime. It's not a drug that you do by yourself. You will be completely fine after your trip. You're not gonna go to a mental asylum. And also, I'm not encouraging you to do it. If you have no interest in doing it, please don't do it. Like, I don't really care if you do psychedelics or not. One, I hope you don't judge me for doing them because it's really not that crazy. And two, I hope that if you are watching this video for more information, I hope that this video helps you in deciding if it's even worth it for you or not. I definitely feel like after I tried psychedelics, I had a better sense of self and I was more confident. I just felt better in my body. Like, I felt like I owned it, which I didn't really feel before I tried it. I didn't really understand like my purpose or what I was doing here. And I don't know, I was just kind of going through the daily motions without like thinking much about, I don't know, like how I can apply myself to the world around me and, you know, give some meaning to my life. Yeah, that's my experience with them. I don't think psychedelics is for everybody, but if you are considering doing them, I suggest that you approach them with caution. You have to do them with other people. You can't do them alone, and you have to be in the right mental state. If you're usually a positive person, I think you'll be fine. And if you do suffer with depression or anxiety, there has been studies that show that psychedelics do help with depression and anxiety, but I'm not a doctor and I'm not about to tell you to go do something and it be the wrong thing. So at the end of the day, you know your own mind and what you can handle, what you can't. If you've tried like edible brownies, it's like kind of similar, but like not really. They're their own animal. Thank you so much for, you know, sticking around, watching me, you know, get my life together and listening to me explain my psychedelic experience. Found this video helpful, please like. If you have any questions for me that I didn't address in this video, please comment them. I am so willing to answer them. If you found this video helpful and you know somebody who's like considering trying and they're scared and they need, you know, more answers, definitely share this video with them. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.